Hello, Marvs. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Give me just 1 second. I'm Happy New Year. I hope you're having a wonderful time, Marv. It's been a really good year so far. I can't complain. So, today is a couple of different national days. Today is National Cream Puff Day, National Buffet Day, National Personal Trainer Awareness Day, National Science Fiction Day. And science fiction has been attributed to Isaac Asimov, who was born today in 1920. And that's why they celebrate National Science Fiction Day today. Kind of funny that it's, or ironic that it's Personal Trainer Awareness Day and National Cream Puff Day. What a contradiction. Magandang Tanghali? Maybe umaga. I can't remember. Labubu 67 to you, my friend. Blessings. But the question today is because today is National Science Fiction Day. I hope everyone's enjoying their January 2nd. It's the first Friday of the new year, so I hope everyone's having a great day. Things are pretty good where I am. We got a little bit more snow today, so that's been kind of interesting. I've not been outside to stick a yardstick in the yard to see where we're at, but I would say we're probably shin deep. Good evening, Trevor. How are you? Nice to see you all in today. Very glad to see you and meet you, for those of you that I have not. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. That's awesome. So I'm just here riding the storm out. The snowstorm, that is. Oh, that's okay. Oh. You will put my soul in a black soul gem. Well, I always thought my soul would look very nice in some obsidian, perhaps some sapphire, if you're asking my opinion. But You can't have my soul, my friend. But that's the most original thing I've heard anybody say on here. It's not bad right this minute, but it has been bad the last couple days, and a little earlier today it was rough. You will offer my soul to the ideal masters. Well, that's entirely possible. Bold of you to assume that I would not take over the ideal masters. That's okay, we haven't met yet, so you didn't know that. I have not had power outs where I am. People closer to the lake have had power outages, but my city has not yet. If too much snow comes down too quickly, though, that's a very likely possibility. But we've done okay so far. Come, Superman, say your stupid line. I do get very bored sometimes when the power goes out. I do have some board games and cards on hand for such occasions, and usually a lot of my hobbies I can do without electricity. I have at least a few things I can do at any rate, so that's always nice to have on hand. And sometimes it's nice to take a digital break as well. But so my state has passed a couple of different laws today that went into effect on January 1st. New York has raised its minimum wage. We are up to $16 an hour, I believe, and some parts of the city are 17. Do I know of Alduin the World's Eater? I do not. Also, my county banned the production of and sale of polystyrene coolers, which are the single-use coolers that a lot of people use for fishing and such, which, while I understand a lot of the things, and I know the thought is a lot of the coolers end up in the lakes and rivers, and that's not a great thing. But also at the same time, it's kind of forcing you. They're doing it to limit, and I don't understand. They're doing it as part of an initiative to get rid of as part of the plastic thing, but they're forcing you to buy more plastic items at the same time. Yep. There are states where it is still 7, unfortunately. Oh, Derek, that's so nice. Hello, welcome in. Good to see you. First day live streaming. However, um, however, 109, keep in mind that the prices here also reflect the minimum wage increase. In fact, everything went up January 1st. I live in a trailer park and my lot rent just went up $13 monthly, which is ridiculous, but they're going to say well, we've done improvements around here. They really haven't. The roads still they filled in a couple potholes, and that was improvement. We still have to maintain everything here, and it's dumb. Oh, no kidding, Derek. That's crazy. I'm not crazy. My state makes laws, and they don't carry it out in the right way. My lot rent is $488 a month. I do own the trailer, and we do pay the lot. So I only pay the lot rent, but I didn't really plan this out. My trailer is not a trailer that can be moved. So I pretty much would be, if I were to move, I would lose the trailer, obviously, or I'd have to sell the trailer. And so it was good. So we're probably staying here till we die. But anyways, Ron, good evening. Good to see you. But my state wants to ban all plastics. Okay, like we don't have plastic bags here anymore. Thank God they haven't gone after the plastic straws though, because other states where they've gone after the plastic straws, they've make you use paper, and paper straws just are not good. And so in not using plastic bags, you either have to bring your own reusable bags made out of plastic, and you still are getting your groceries, again, all bagged in plastic. Like, your meats are in plastic, and incidentally, the stuff they're trying to ban, because that's foam as well. It may not be the same type of foam as the coolers, but so you have that, and your milk jugs are still plastic. Like, you still have plastic. So the way my state executes things, I just don't agree with it. And also in outlawing the polystyrene, that also went to restaurant to-go containers. So now restaurants are going to have to pay a higher cost to provide to-go containers. So obviously they're going to raise prices. So my point is, with all of these things that have been integrated in New York State starting the 1st, the money has to come from somewhere. So with the minimum wage increase, the prices are going to go up. With the new bans on polystyrene, prices are going to go up. They have expanded the state coverage of some medical things, such as the EpiPen and breast cancer screening, as well as an item that can cool your scalp from radiation. And those I do think are good. But again, that's going to go with a corresponding cost of increase for health insurance. So, but see, Derek, the plastic bags, everybody I know reused their little plastic grocery bags. Everybody I know saved them, and everybody I know had your bag stash of plastic bags, and everybody used them like in their littler trash cans, or they would use them to carry items from house to house. So even though maybe I think that, and I'm not saying plastic is good for the environment, it's just the way that my state in particular is going about fighting the war against plastic, if you will, is really increasing cost. And I just think that we need to go back to the drawing board and do a better job of that. And yeah, plastic water bottle, everybody uses so many water bottles now that that's a huge thing too, which there's nothing wrong with drinking water, and I'm not trying to say there is, and there's nothing wrong with using plastic inherently if you use it responsibly. But hello, JJ Animations, and what is that? And honestly, like, with the plastics available, a lot of people that I know in particular reused the plastic until there was nothing else. I mean, here in New York, we put, I think you can make reactions of videos to videos, so that might be nice. But like with bread bags, people would reuse the bread bags and grocery bags to line your boots here. I mean, I know we did that most of my life. And like I said, people reused the plastic bags in bathroom garbages and so on. And everybody I know used to water their plants with reused milk jugs and or use them for crafts and stuff. I do agree that those are the better ways to carry groceries home and stuff, but a lot of the reusable bags that are offered in stores are still made of plastic. So it just feels like you're being robbed in order to, in the name of the environment. And a lot of times, you know, it is easy to make a cloth bag out of, you know, reused clothing items or other such things like that, reusable fabric. If you have, if you're able to sew, and or even hot glue, and not everybody can sew, but there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm from the reduce, reuse, recycle era, and so that's kind of my mindset. That was our big thing that was drilled into us when we were kids, was reduce, reuse, recycle. So as a general rule, I reuse a lot of things. And I do agree with, my state does do the bottle return money. You do pay an initial deposit, but I'm a big soda drinker, so I benefit from that. The bottle return. Well, I pay an initial cost, but I always, you make time to take your pop bottles back. But now so many things are just disposable, and I don't know. I don't pretend to have all the answers either for the environmental issues, but, and while I do agree with some of what my state is doing, I don't agree with everything. I believe it. I don't know too much on the topic myself, but, and I mean, I don't mean to speak as an authority on any matter. Anything I say here is because I did a cursory lookup. There are very few topics I'm an expert on. I um I have no problem with well water. I don't have it at my house, but I live close enough to a city. Oh, me too. I've never been above drinking out of a hose. Good night, JJ. Have a good evening. But just a lot of things to think about. All right. I look forward to it. Oh, nice. Okay, Derek. We'll see you when you come back, if you do. Otherwise, you have a good evening and enjoy your webcast. I'm probably going to be up for a while. I ended up taking an afternoon nap. Not the wisest thing to do, but just been very tired. We are not looking our sharpest today, lady. But with today being National Science Fiction Day, I'm not crazy huge into sci-fi, but I know a lot of people like Doctor Who very much. I'm not as familiar with Doctor Who. Um, I did work with my old manager, may he rest in peace, who had TARDIS on his license plate from the Doctor Who, and at his funeral, they had a TARDIS, and you could actually talk into it, and they had like a USB drive where you could record a message, and it went in the TARDIS, which went with him, and that was really nice. A nice way to honor him because he was such a huge Doctor Who fan. I know a little bit more about Star Trek because my brother is a very big fan of Star Trek. Um, he has a lot of his very first email address, in fact, was 1701A from the Enterprise. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life. The Twilight Zone actually is something that is kind of interesting. Well, one of my acquaintances now, I don't know if he counts me as a friend or whatever, but uh, Richard Neal on Random Street Theater sometimes will air old episodes of The Twilight Zone. And so if you're ever about, check that out. Um, But National Cream Puff Day. I cannot say that I have made cream puffs. I don't know where I would go locally to get one. I do have a bakery in my city, or in the next city over, and I bet they probably have good cream puffs, but every time I hear cream puff, all I can picture is Saddam Hussein in South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut asking Satan, "Who's my cream puff?" So that's what I picture when I hear cream puff. National Buffet Day. Also, so when I was a little girl, there was this restaurant called Ponderosa. I don't know if it's still a thing. Holy moly, hello, long time no see. I hope you've been well and you've had a good holiday season. I don't know if there's still Ponderosa anywhere, but if there was, I would definitely go. I think it's defunct though, but when I lived in North Carolina, there was this buffet called Ryan's, and it was kind of similar to Ponderosa. It was like a steakhouse. And when you live down south, everybody likes you to go to Cece's Pizza Buffet, which is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I'm just very spoiled because where I live, the pizza market is just second to none. I've been pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm rock starring it, but I'm okay. And as for the Personal Trainer Awareness Day, um, very good to get your exercise. I've never had a personal trainer, pray tell. I know, I'll wait while you all put on your surprised face. But I have had people that have helped maintain my physical wellness, if you will, mostly by the way of physical therapists, but there you are. Ah, well, I've been here sometimes, not very often. Ty Hessling, hello. Hello, Johnny. How are you? I hope you're all having a good day. Ty, you're not going to sit in here and be a jerk to everybody. There's no reason for it. And nothing. You wouldn't appreciate it if I went on your channel and acted a mess now, would you? I understand it's late and it's past your bedtime and you're probably getting crabby, but there's no reason to be like that in here. Hello, and how are you today? Nice to see you, MLG, as always. Yeah, there was no reason for that, Johnny, but just ignore him. It's definitely like that with the kids not being in school. That was better. We're getting there. All right, guys, enough. We're not going to prick wave in here either. I'm assuming, or Tourette's or something of that nature. I'm not real sure. First time seeing them. Yes, let's get on and have a pleasant stream, okay? I'm grumpy right now myself, so you may certainly sub if you wish, but well, you can. If anybody's bothering you, you can block whoever you like, but meanwhile, people just sometimes say things out of pocket, and it's better to just focus on what the host is saying and not anything else if it's bothering you. I mean, I've certainly had people come in here and be straight up rude to me as well, but that doesn't stop me from live streaming. Thank you for the hearts, people. Right now Mary is sitting in her chair resting. Well, nobody called you a name, Johnny. Ty was initially rude to you, yes. Other people were just saying you need to let it go because, we're already detracting from my stream. So I'd appreciate it if we just had an enjoyable time and people didn't fight. But if what people are saying is bothering you, you can click on their name. Okay, if that's what you'd like to do. Anyways, back to the Mary show of it all. What Mary was doing is I was talking about, on account of it being National Buffet Days, I was kind of recounting some of the buffets I'd been to, as well as it being National Cream Puff Day. Ty, enough. So, I was just recounting tales of years past. I was also saying I'd never baked cream puffs, and that every time I hear cream puff, all I can think about is South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut, the scene with Saddam Hussein and Satan in bed. Oh, a sub. Now I understand what he meant when he said, I'm a sub. Got it. It took me a minute. I'm kind of slow. Come on, Superman. I forgot about that. I read the other day that Saddam's last words were Allah Akbar, Alu Akbar. I'm saying it wrong. I had to look up what it meant because I had it wrong. Oh dear. I just commented on how CC's is very popular in the South. And I said it was okay, not great, but okay. Because I was talking about um, buffets and I regaled with stories about living down south and what buffets I would go to. The last time I went to the Golden Corral in Erie, Pennsylvania, it was not good. And I made a whole special trip out there just to go there. So I like buffets because you can pick a little of this and a little of that. And sometimes it's very hard to decide all the way what I want for dinner because I just like a couple scoops of everything. Johnny, I don't give out my personal Facebook on here. Um, I understand though. It's not personal. I don't like to give out my personal Facebook because my family's on there. Dave asked if I have been to the Erie. Um, the Erie Golden Corral. I'm trying to think. There's another one out in. I used to love Old Country Buffet. That was my favorite thing in the world. Was Old Country Buffet. We would go there after we went to Sam's Club because when we were little, that was the big thing before it was in town. I miss having a Sam's Club local to me, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Erie in the next couple of weeks. I have to go there 4 different days in the next 2 weeks. That's going to be terrible. Come on, Superman. The first one is the fifth. The fifth is the orthopedic. I don't see that. I don't see where anybody called you a traitor. Yep, Monday. And then no, it's Warren on the 9th. The 9th I go to Warren by mistake. And then the 12th and the 14th I go back to Erie. 12 is neurologist, 14 is neurosurgeon. 9th is neck jabs. That's fine. Come on, Superman, say Superman. Oh, okay. That's cool. You know, I might actually just, I don't know. I'm still trying to decide who to bring in there with me. I might just go myself at first. I thought about having you on the phone at least. What have I been up to these days in 2026? I have been sitting on my duckus for the better part of the last 2 days. Well, this ortho's the new guy, so he's just getting read in. Oh my goodness, you're too much. I love it. So he's, and I just read on my UPMC chart that I haven't had, I swear I had a knee x ray, and that's how I ended up with the other ortho. But lend me a cord, more granola bars. My husband's actually in bed. Tu- he tuckered in for the evening. My goodness, I am ravenously hungry right now. I had a good dinner too, and I'm just really hungry. I might have to raid the fridge. Oh, Johnny, my husband has a baseball card channel. I don't know if you've seen it. It's at Joe's Junk Wax, and he opens baseball cards on his channel. So if you want to check him out, please feel free. I like being a YouTuber okay. I've only been doing it for probably a year. I would say I've been going live. But yeah, my husband's just starting to get his channel going, and it's at Joe's JOES capital JUNK capital WAX. Come on, Superman. Oh, I see. That's good. Hello, Casey. Welcome in. Yep, then the yacht. Let's not forget the yacht. Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Always complaining. Always complaining. If money is such a problem. Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Wow, I'm up to 10 likes already. That's cool. I haven't seen any of my usual people in here. Well, I do have usual people. Everybody pops in from time to time. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on this particular stream for the next 14 minutes. Then I'm going to get off of the stream, get a bite to eat, and then I think I'm going to do a music stream. Unless there is something really engrossing that's on right now. That's my plan anyway. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell. I have not seen Hannibal Rising. Or if I have, it's been a while and I don't remember. Because it's Science Fiction Day, I was talking about Billy and how his license plate had TARDIS and they had a TARDIS at his funeral. You should. I don't know how much a book set even costs nowadays, but I am not as much of a reader as I used to be. I did not know that either. Very interesting. Probably my favorite series that I've ever read was from Patricia Cromwell, and it was following a lady who was, it was fiction, but it was a lady who was the chief medical examiner of Virginia and followed her lifetime basically. Yeah. Yep, Postmortem and was Dr. K. Scarpetta. I loved reading those. In fact, I read Scarpetta while I was in the bin. I think it was that. I finished it in like a day. Maybe two. I just said bin out loud. Eh. I think the very first one I read was All That Remains, and I think Postmortem was maybe two before that, maybe three. I don't remember Sharp Force as well. I would have to go back and reread them. It's been so long, but I was reading the alphabet ones too. I can't remember who wrote those. I believe the main character was Kinsey Milhone. Like A is for Alibi. I can't remember that author though. Yeah, it's like I don't remember when that was. Portrait of the Killer was Jack the Ripper. I I don't remember. I watched a real good movie about Jack the Ripper, or based on Jack the Ripper, and I don't remember what it was. Titled, I mean. Yeah, she was really good. But I did not. I think I missed some in between where I left off in Scarpetta. I've never been able to decide who my favorite character is. I think Marino's probably my favorite character. Kate herself is, of course, wonderful, but I don't know. Marino was always my favorite. Lucy was just kind of, I don't know, something about Lucy just wasn't my favorite. Hello. Welcome in. Good to see you. But I definitely missed something because I didn't know Benton was alive. Because I think where I left off, think I want to say the last book, Benton was presumed dead, but then when I found Scarpetta, I was like, what? I was so stunned. But it's definitely worth a read, guys, if you're looking for a good series. Hello, football boys. If you're looking for a good series, Patricia Cromwell is really a good series to start. But they're very long. Well, some people would say they're very long reads, but it goes fast. Her stuff always went fast, I thought. I haven't started any new TV series or anything. I just I have Roku, but I don't always watch series on Roku. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. And all that matters. If you're just joining us today, it is National Personal Trainer Awareness Day, National Science Fiction Day, National Cream Puff Day, and National Buffet Day. X-Files, yes, I did like Scully. That was a really good series. I'm not sure what my favorite sci-fi show was. Hello, Samesh. Welcome in. Oh, fantastic. Those are really neat to have. But I definitely like listening to the old radio shows from the Twilight Zone and stuff. I kind of like sometimes listening to things rather than listening or reading rather than watching like movies, because when you listen to something or you read something, you can kind of make your own picture in your head, and I kind of prefer those mediums a lot of the times. I don't know, I just went through a period of time years ago where I just watched so many movies that I just am kind of movied out. So I don't always. I have not so much. I will definitely look into it. Rod Sterling had a good voice. Yeah, I completely agree. Oh, that's nice. I'll make sure to tune in. I Oh, I can't think of the fellow's name. Nope, it's gone. My goodness, my brain is just not working today. Yes, absolutely. Charlie Puth. That's who sings that song. I'm sorry, guys. I've been trying to remember who sings this song, Attention, all day, and I just remembered it. Charlie Puth. I hate it when I try to remember something and I remember it hours later. I would probably have to say the Twilight Zone would have been my favorite. Um, I've probably watched the most Star Trek, though, to be fair, because my brother was really into Star Trek. But to be honest with you, science fiction's not really my first go to. Now, I do like science by way of like, I like a lot of true crime stuff, like the forensics parts of things like that. So, I mean, I like actual science, but science fiction is just, it's not my first choice. But I do like some of the. I mean, I've watched a little like Battlestar Galactica, little Doctor Who, little X Files, little here and there, but I've probably watched the most Star Trek, to be honest. But the X-Files were really good years ago. I watched it quite often. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. You know, for the time they were done in, they weren't terrible. I think you would probably like Doctor Who better than Star Trek if I had to pick. There used to be a show called shit. Quantum Leap that was pretty good. I don't know if that would necessarily count as sci-fi. Keep playing along, keep singing. I thought that was good. Or it was interesting at least. There was another show I used to watch called The Pretender, but that wasn't really science fiction. It had science premises behind it, but it wasn't science fiction. It was more kind of, I don't want to say drama. Drama really isn't the right word either, but Bob Saget. Yep. Yeah, his comedy definitely was very different than the characters he portrayed, but his stand up I thought was really good. Not as good as Carlin. Carlin is probably my favorite stand up comedian ever. Although, but turn out your light. You've been running that dirt on my name. 'Cause you knew that I knew that I knew that I'd call you up. Been running. Hello, VM. Yes, I'm doing real good. I had a nice New Year's. Spent a quiet evening at home. Nothing too exciting. I think I did a stream that night too, maybe. I don't remember, but I hope you've enjoyed your holidays, VM, and you've had a relaxing holiday season. Yeah, not a lot of people really, but I mean, with the holidays, people haven't really been doing stuff. I understand. I just basically did stuff during the holidays when I came home after I did the family thing. And honestly, the weather here was kind of crummy the last few days, so not a lot of gathering for us here. But I don't think the weather was that bad. But I guess the roads are not great here. I haven't been out myself driving, so I don't know if I'm going to have to drive Monday to Pennsylvania. If I do, I'm taking my own car. I'm not driving my parents' car. Oh, ow. But my plan for now is I am probably wasn't really about for you. I know it's also the 250th anniversary of the United States this year as well. Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I remember 2000 like it was yesterday, and it's weird to think that that was 25 years ago. Amazing how much things have changed. But my plan for the time being is I'm going to wrap this stream up. I'm going to take an intermission of unspecified duration because I'm starving and I need to get something to eat. Even though I've had dinner, I've had a snack, I'm still hungry. So I'm going to take an intermission of unspecified duration, and I think I'm going to come back on and do a music stream in a little bit. So I appreciate you all being here. It was nice to see everybody, and I hope you drop back in for the music stream. Otherwise, have a good day. Enjoy National Cream Puff Day, National Buffet Day, Personal Trainer Awareness Day, and National Science Fiction Day. We absolutely can play the Jeopardy theme song. Do 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 do. Do 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 boom boom. But thank you all for dropping by the Bear Den. We'll see you soon. Bye.